The question quality has spiked dramatically. I'm honored. I also think that this format actually works great because when you yell at a person anonymously, the rest of the room kind of steps up their game a little bit because I've never seen questions this good ever. On Clubhouse, if you scream at a person up on stage and then you move them down, or even treat them in a situation where it's not egalitarian at all costs, okay? There's a cost, which is if you pretend like being dumb is okay, then other people think being an idiot's okay. And then it's dumb people and idiots leading dumb people and idiots, where you want this dumb guy to learn from other people. And this is how to learn. If you've ever been in one of my rooms called Learning How to Learn, like the question quality, it got great. Ooh, I'm getting goosebumps because you're about to witness me attempt and proceduralize an answer to a question while DJing in prior mentioned works, prior mentioned mentors in a way that you will financially benefit, mentally benefit, to the point where the intention that I set for this room, which was I want to be more valuable of a Clubhouse speaker than any other Clubhouse room you've ever been in. Why? Because a Clubhouse person sent me a Clubhouse, or not Clubhouse DM, an Instagram DM, which I never check. I'm literally itching myself because it makes my skin not crawl. She goes, is your picture even worth 475 euro on Getty? Yeah, okay. Like, that's the system. It's blue pill and it's red pill. And it's my money. My picture costs 475 bucks. Like, so what? Like, is that good or bad? It sounds good to me, right? I mean, I want your picture to sell for a lot of money too. Instead, why don't you say, hey Larry, you're not ugly, but why is your picture worth more than an Instagram model? Yeah, I think you just answered your own question, right? It's more valuable because I don't give it away for free being an Instatot. Instagram, hottie. Toddy is that hottie over there. And now I've weaved in, pun intended, weaving as in quilting, which is a book on ingenious, not ingenious, but inside genius. I want to say, what page is it? Oh, page 172, Tina Selig's book, Ingenious. It's the concept of quilting, which is my pun of weaving. I'm going to weave all these concepts into one mega concept, which is the name of the room, which is how to not go bankrupt as we go from the piddly little crypto winter. Brr, it's only $125,000, okay? Oh, Larry, should I sell my Bitcoin? Should I take some profits? Because I bought in at your very fun party, and you're very fun and you're very cool. I bought in at $105,000. I hit smash buy for 0.00001 Bitcoin. So I'm a Bitcoin maximalist. Should I sell and take a profit because it was up to 150 and I'm thinking about taking some profit? How to not go bankrupt as we go from $125,000, okay, to $50 million. Because make no mistake about it, people, they will go bankrupt. One of a slew of great questions. How else can we benefit from the fact that paper no longer matters? Ah, somebody read The Mobile Wave. You know how I know you read chapter 3 of The Mobile Wave? Because your question continues, I hope you're writing this down, because if you write this down, me burping on live TV, CNBC, you need rights signed over. You can't just rip video. You're gonna need rights transferred. And it's gonna cost you 745 euro. I don't take fiat US dollars. It's gonna have to be euro. So if you need any portion of this to rebroadcast, this is why I dressed up today for you. Michael Saylor said in BTC 05, which is actually not chapter 3, but you know what? This is even better. You're helping me. Bitcoin BTC episode 005, specifically BTC 005. Thank you for paste copying, which is chapter 3 of what they don't teach at Harvard Business School. Oh, a lot of chapter 3s. Bitcoin, Apple, Facebook, and Google already did that by making content digital and reduced variable costs by 99%, 90% paper books in particular. And my question is in the subject line. I think I yelled at people too much because that was a person who was shell-shocked, but shell-shocked into coming up with some PTSD, okay? Pretty thunderous, super dope, right? PTSD. You guys should laugh, that was funny. I'm going to answer your question in 3 parts. Do you guys need me to repeat the question? Were you guys paying attention to the question? Your lack of attention is thunderous. It is thunderous. This is the question. It's a good question. So you know what? I will repeat it. Larry, how else can we benefit from the fact that paper no longer matters? The body further shows the genius. Michael Saylor said in BTC 005, Bitcoin, Apple, Facebook, Google already did that by making content digital, reduced variable cost by 99%, paper books in particular. And my question is in the subject line. First of all, notice the question. The question went to the weakest part of not my argument, but some part, what's called an attack surface. So if this is a monologue, AKA a one-way lecture, okay, paper was the attack surface because my lecture, it's centralized. I can't believe I laugh at my own jokes, but the jokes just write themselves, right? Especially when you realize that all humor is the interruption of the expected. You guys like my baseball hat? You can't see it. It's a good baseball hat. I'm backwards baseball hat guy. The attack surface of paper, because it seems like you can attack it while seeming smart, because the question asker is actually a genius. Able to Google, probably good at CS, probably makes $250 a year. Could have asked a softball question and could have said thank you for reinforcing old information that they sort of knew, but then I took it all the way home and gave them the benefit. So the attack surface of when I said paper, I think that's chapter 3 of the mobile wave. Let me check. Can we be honest? I've memorized every page in every book because I'm photogenic. Yes, I know the difference between photographic and photogenic, but what I did there was I gave you an attack surface. But I also did something else, which is on the IQ bell curve, but I'll hit that point because I just wrote it down for you. paper in Saylor's book, and you're quoting a podcast, which is great because you can now do these bullet pointed things. You can realize that Saylor has a hole in his orange pill knowledge, and you can't see this right now, okay? But my eyes are real big, like saucers big. And you gotta remember, I'm Chinese, so I've kind of got squinty eyes. So when my eyes pop, okay, like you can tell. Saylor's got a hole in his orange pill knowledge because paper, it still has a role, which is point number 2. It's twofold. If you're going to trade and manage emotions, if your pen doesn't hit paper, you are what I call, it's a technical phrase, it's called triple fucked, okay? Because you've never been a $50 million millionaire like I have, okay? You haven't. And because you haven't, and I have, I'm going to tell you that some of your stuff is going to get messed up and you could go bankrupt. Paper has a huge role still because US credit law is still based in paper. Let's just focus on number 3. US law is still, I'm actually itching myself just like when that girl asked me about my photo costing too much money. Because it feels like I'm giving this to you for free and you're going to flub it up. Because it also goes to 4, which is you can kill 2 birds with 1 stone, which is FICO is a paper-based credit system. Most people that are going from negative net worth to positive net worth, they have to run, have I said this before? An API. Using paper, chapter 3 of the Bitcoin wave, chapter 3 of the mobile wave. You have to use paper to get to a neutral net worth. You currently are at a negative net worth. And if you're being honest with yourselves, a good portion of you, well, not anymore, but the people that come and go, trying to look for the one best idea, okay? They're dealing with negative net worth. That's what negative net worth people do, is they look for the $150 million idea, when in fact, getting to 0, you'll never feel more rich than getting to 0. That's not me, I was never at 0. That's Chris Sacca, fiat millionaire, who used to be poor at Google, talking, not Bitcoin maxi talk, but Chris Sacca talk. Chris Sacca, S-A-C-C-A. Chapter 3, the Bitcoin wave. The book hasn't been written yet. It's decentralized. Notice the pattern here. You can decentralize it. You can get benefit because you absolutely need paper, because American law, there's 2 laws you don't know about, which the Bitcoin wave, because you try to out alpha me by attack surfacing my weakest point, paper. And I'm not saying that you're malicious with it, but you just wanted to seem intelligent with a question. And it was probably because I yelled at other people and you took it personally, but you came with a great question, which is great on 12 levels. So I thank you. To get to 0, to get to neutral net worth. Getting to 0 sounds depressing because you're finally being honest about the fact that I can tell through here and by listening and remembering, hugs, you're worth negative $16,500 and you've been like an insta-tot. How have you been to college for 3 years and are still 5 years short of a 4-year degree? Right? Neutral net value. Neutral, getting to 0. Getting to that 4-year degree and owing no money. We'll call that neutral. If college offends you because you think it's a piece of paper, does my 4-year degree offend you? Because I'm a little short of a 4-year degree at Stanford University. I've taken some classes. I've gotten into the business school. I've lectured at Harvard Law School because I took notes, and I learned after my 4 years at the University of Illinois that I only got into Dartmouth, West Point, University of Illinois, Stanford, and a bunch of other shit colleges like the University of Wisconsin because I played baseball. So had I not played baseball, I don't know. Purdue. I applied to Purdue. Maybe they knew I'd play baseball there. Maybe they just didn't know. Maybe they were too lazy to Google it. But they admitted me. Getting to zero. Paper is required in an orange pill truth that's also a red pill truth. Sailor's looking at it from a truth of being a tech exec. Like, he's selling software. So yeah, he's gonna poo-poo paper. And he said, I'm not gonna write the Bitcoin wave. I'm not gonna write the Bitcoin wave, period. That's what he said. This is what he thought. Why would I write a book that you won't read after a book that you also didn't read? Did you read the Bitcoin wave? So I wrote the outline for the Bitcoin wave with 4 other co-authors. Decentralized. So if you decide you need to quit Y Combinator and you need to go to Harvard Law School, Harvard Business School, Stanford Law School, Stanford Business School, if you need to leave, just kindly leave. Just like Clubhouse. I don't need to hear that you're leaving, okay? Just fucking go. I don't need to hear that you need to jump on a call, okay? Or that you need to do a meeting because you're horrible at mining fiat. So it's the longest goodbye ever, okay? When you tell me you're leaving, I move you down to the audience. You don't just get to come back later and then be a moderator and then pop in and out as a speaker talking in a room where you weren't listening. That's Clubhouse, right? That's Clubhouse, which is why you're in a monologue. Have you ever been in a monologue? I haven't, okay? Monologues are hard. But I made it a two-way conversation because of that genius question, which part D, in case you're taking notes, because you asked that question, and I know you're still in the room, even though I don't know exactly who you are, that question was an attack surface of my weakest argument. Larry, do you even know about paper? And did you even read the Michael Saylor book? It turns out they didn't read the book. I mistakenly thought that they wrote the book, or they read the book, but it turns out they just listened to a podcast on paper. But at least you Googled it. You're way ahead of almost me. Sometimes, I'm sure in a lot of categories, you are ahead of me. So when we meet in the real world, I will show you how to learn, because if we spend time together at a party, you will see that I will outlearn you, right? Just like baseball practice, I'm better than you, and I'm gonna get better than you because I work harder. Proof of work. Proof of stake is like if I just promote you up to the room and bring you up and make you a moderator because you had a great, that was a great question. Paper. I make you a moderator and then you don't work as hard because you became a moderator because you heard me yell at them. And then when you are a moderator, you suck, right? Because you just start multitasking. Maybe you pop in another room because that moderator badge will come back when you come back as a moderator, right? That's what Clubhouse influencers do. Which brings me to aspect D of paper, which is there is no more red pill and orange pill truth that I know that if you're going to get to neutral net worth, that's a tongue twister actually. Neutral net worth. Talking about no money and getting to neutral, it gives me gas. I've never been negative. It also helps that I actually don't spend money. I've actually never been negative. So when I heard that Chris Sacca sob story of being negative, I'm like, how are you an influencer while having no money? Like, how do you even know what you're talking about? I guess doers that talk don't do, they talk. But to his credit, He became a low double-digit millionaire, being a venture capitalist, losing a shit ton of money, but keeping management fees. So hugs and kisses. It's a good business model if you can get it. I take that back. You did take a couple of long bets and you got lucky, and we became billionaires in and around the same time. But you gotta admit, like, your negative to billionaire story is different from my small ball to billionaire story, isn't it? Which brings us right back to the name of the room, don't go bankrupt, which brings us right back to paper. You can write Saylor's book for him, knowing that Saylor doesn't know about the external API of TransUnion, Equifax, and Experian. That's chapter 3 of our co-authored book, even though you haven't read The Mobile Wave. I'm itching because I need to take a shower after working out, which is whatever, right? But because talking about negative, okay, I can't imagine the stress that you'd be under. Like, that's why people physically react when I call them a loser, because deep down, if they're being honest with themselves with negative net worth, loser. But I'm trying to help you with paper get to zero, getting to neutral net worth. How do you use paper, Larry, to get to Experian, TransUnion, Equifax? Happy that you asked that question. It's a hashtag. It's called PO Box 105281. You're welcome. You're welcome. I'm humbled to be one of the top 23 VCs in the top 10. There's this, I'm gonna call him a Asian dude, but if we're being honest, South Asian. Asian people, they hate other Asian people, especially if they're successful. True story. Racism, that's not white people being mean to us or to you. Oh, darn it, I messed that joke up too. Get it? Because I'm white, Larry Chiang. Because 50% of me is Chinese and the other half of me is Asian. It's not white people that are mean to us. It's other minorities. They said to me, because of how overly popular I am in Silicon Valley, because I listen to Neg and I go right at it. Like, you call me a tall, pretty boy who just goes to parties and parties, okay? I will go to every party. I will go to every party, even the parties I don't want to go to, just so that way what you said, okay, is true. Doesn't matter if I had to spend 40 minutes one way to go to the party for 5 minutes, make a big splash, and then hook up with a girl after that party, which is gonna take me another, 9 hours and 9 minutes of sex, right? 4.5 minutes before we go to bed, and then another 3 minutes when I wake up, right? So my thrust to weight ratio, my production to investment ratio, thrust to weight ratio, it's all messed up because I was only at the party 10 minutes. But I'm at the party 10 minutes, why? To prove a point. So paper, orange pill, external API, hashtag external API, Experian, TransUnion, Equifax. You have to force the information down their throat, which is Stack Overflow. Do you guys know that's why Stack Overflow is called that? You guys know what Stack Overflow is? This is what this is right now. This is me, Michael Saylor, and the Genius Question Dude talking about engineering in a room where the engineers have stayed, the people who learn stayed, the econ majors and the finance majors, they're like, it's too technical. Chapter 3 paper, Front Run Sailor's book. I just showed you how to make money while you're making money. I just showed you how to make money while you make money. You don't have to just ask questions. By the way, I'm queued up. I'll shut up. I will shut up and read the next genius question. These questions are genius. Where do I begin? Can't ask that. People always turn it into like dating shit. This isn't a dating app. This is Clubhouse. What do you think we are at Pally High School? Okay, you're sending me sex as I'm giving a keynote. Okay, text me in 7 years when you're a junior in college. I don't think I've ever said more creepy. I don't think I've ever said anything more creepy in my life. I don't think I've ever said anything more creepy in my life. Get it? Pally, it's a high school across from Stanford University. Like, if you can ask me questions via text and then I get a sext, I just do a rain check, like a 6-year rain check or a 7-year rain check. So wrong, so funny. So wrong, so wrong, so wrong.